Here's the brutal truth. Most people might earn over $2 million in their lifetime and still never save even $100,000. Yeah, you heard that right. You'll have millions flow through your hands like water down a broken faucet, and you'll be left with a bank account that looks like it just got mugged. Why? Because money isn't about math. It's about psychology, habits, and sometimes straight-up delusion. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why most people never save six figures, and more importantly, how you can quietly beat the system. So take notes, because some of these are going to sting, but that's good news. Pain means you're about to learn something life-changing. Reason number 1, lifestyle creep will rob you blind. Let's start with the heavyweight champ of broke behavior, and if you've been following me for a while, you already know what I'm about to say. Lifestyle creep. It goes like this. You make $40,000 a year. You eat instant noodles, drive a used Toyota, and share a Netflix password. Then you get a raise. Suddenly you're making $60,000. But instead of saving the difference, you upgrade your life like you're starring in a Drake music video. New apartment, new iPhone, new car with heated seats that massage your butt. The raise wasn't a raise, it was an excuse to flex. And now the extra $20,000 is gone before it even hits your account. This is why you never get ahead. Because as income goes up, so do expenses. You ever meet someone who's always broke, but they're wearing Yeezys, have the latest iPhone, and DoorDash every meal? Yeah. Lifestyle creep is the silent killer that makes you feel rich while keeping you poor. So here's the fix. When your income goes up, your lifestyle should not. At least not by the same amount. You can upgrade a little, but the golden rule is this. Save or invest at least 50% of any raise. Treat raises like stolen money. It's not yours unless you invest it. Think of money like calories. If you eat more just because you burned more at the gym, you'll never lose weight. Same with money. If you spend more every time you earn more, your savings will never grow. And lifestyle creep is just the beginning. Because even if you avoid that trap, there's a second, sneakier reason people never hit $100,000. It's the reason your bank account feels like a leaky bucket. Reason number 2, the later lie. Here's a dangerous little phrase. I'll start saving later. Later when I make more money. Later when I pay off debt. Later when my rent isn't so high. Later when my dog stops eating half my paycheck in vet bills. Spoiler alert, later never comes. Because by the time you're ready, life throws you a curveball. Car breaks down, friend's wedding trip costs $2,000. You decide you deserve a vacation in Cancun after working so hard. And just like that, saving gets pushed to later. Again. This is why most people never save $100,000. They treat saving like it's an optional subscription they'll sign up for someday. Newsflash, someday never pays interest. Now that I think about it, I had a buddy who said he'd start saving once he cleared his $5,000 credit card debt. Makes sense, right? Except every time he paid it off, he used the freed up credit limit to buy sneakers, gadgets, and Uber Eats feasts. Fast forward 5 years, and not only did he not save a dime, he was $8,000 in debt. All of that to say this, saving isn't something you do after life gets easier. You save while life is hard. You save before you're ready. Even $50 a month matters, because money isn't just about the amount. It's about building the habit. You don't wait to get in shape until you have more free time. You hit the gym when you're busy, because that's how you build consistency. Same with saving. Seriously, waiting for the right time to save is like waiting for the perfect wave to learn surfing. By the time you think it's here, you've already wiped out. And if procrastination wasn't enough, here comes the real dagger. People don't just delay saving. They actually spend their money on things that make them poorer. And that leads us to the third reason you'll never hit $100,000. Reason number 3, debt disguised as normal life. Here's a harsh reality. Debt is the new normal. Credit cards, car loans, student loans, buy now, pay later plans. Most people treat them like harmless roommates. But in reality, they're blood-sucking vampires living rent-free in your wallet. Think about it. You finance a car because everyone does it. You swipe the credit card for brunch because it's just $40. Then suddenly you're buried under $20,000 of normal debt that eats your income every single month. And here's the twisted part. Companies want you to think debt is normal. Why? Because it keeps you chained to payments. Payments equals profit. For them, not you. Take car loans, for example. The average new car payment in the US is now over $700 a month. That's a mortgage in some parts of the country. Imagine if that $700 went into an index fund for 10 years. you'd be sitting on over $100,000. Instead, you're driving a depreciating hunk of metal that loses value faster than ice cream melts in July. The secret isn't never borrow. It's borrow with intention, not for lifestyle. A house? Okay, that can build equity. A degree that pays off? Maybe. A $1,500 Gucci bag you slapped on Klarna? Yeah, that's not normal life. That's financial self-sabotage. If you want to save $100,000, you can't keep throwing money into interest payments. You've got to flip the script, earn interest, don't pay it. Getting into debt for normal purchases is like running on a treadmill with a backpack full of rocks. You're exhausted, but you're not moving forward. But here's the crazy part. Even if you avoided debt, lifestyle creep, and procrastination, you still wouldn't save $100,000. Why? Because most people are committing the single biggest money crime of all. Reason number 4, not investing early. The silent killer. Understand this clearly. You can't save your way to wealth, and yet most people try. They stuff $100 here, $200 there into a savings account that pays, 0.01% interest? Congratulations! You just made 3 cents this year. Don't spend it all at once. The real game changer isn't just saving, it's investing. Why? Because compound interest is the closest thing to magic in the financial world. Don't think of investing as something rich people do. Investing is how normal people become rich. The trick? Start small, start early, and stay consistent. ETFs, index funds, even a Roth IRA, it's less about the vehicle and more about the habit. Not investing is like planting a tree in your backyard and never watering it. You sit around wondering why you don't have shade, while the neighbor who planted the same tree now has an entire forest. But hold up, because even people who do save and invest still miss $100,000. And the next reason is sneakier than all of them. It's the one that drains your wallet drip by drip, and you don't even notice until it's too late. Reason number 5, death by 1,000 subscriptions. Here's the thing. Most people aren't going broke because of one big dumb purchase. They're going broke because of 1,000 tiny ones. It's not the yacht that's killing your savings. It's Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, Spotify, Apple Music, DoorDash, HelloFresh, and that $7.99 free trial you forgot to cancel 3 years ago. On paper, $10 here, $15 there, doesn't look like much. But when you stack them all together, boom, you're burning $300 plus a month on subscriptions you don't even use. That's $3,600 a year. Compound that over 10 years, and you've basically subscribed to being broke. Here's the solution. Audit your subscriptions every 3 months. Be ruthless. If you wouldn't notice it missing, cancel it. Then take that money and put it into an investment account where it actually compounds. Because, let's be real, watching The Office reruns for the 8th time isn't going to retire you. Subscriptions are like financial termites, small, silent, and invisible, until one day your whole house collapses. But here's the sneaky part. Even if you killed all your subscriptions and cut the fat, there's still a mindset that'll wreck your bank account every single time. And it's not about what you spend. It's about who you're trying to impress. Reason number 6, the comparison trap. Ah yes, the age-old game of financial self-destruction, comparing your life to someone else's Instagram feed. Your friend buys a Tesla, so suddenly your Honda Civic feels like a go-kart. Your coworker flashes a Rolex, so your Casio looks like a cereal box toy. Your neighbor upgrades their kitchen, and suddenly you're Googling marble countertops on a payment plan. Here's the problem. Comparison isn't just the thief of joy, it's the thief of savings. Because instead of building wealth, you're trying to look wealthy. And looking wealthy is the fastest way to stay broke. I mean, ever heard of the guy who makes $70,000 a year but drives a $60,000 car? Yeah, he's not flexing wealth, he's flexing debt. Meanwhile, the millionaire next door is driving a 5-year-old Toyota and laughing all the way to the bank. Here's the mindset shift. Stop competing with people who are secretly broke. Half the wealth you see online is financed, leased, or filtered. The real flex isn't designer clothes, it's financial freedom. The freedom to quit a job you hate, the freedom to sleep at night without worrying about bills. Competing with other people's spending is like running a marathon in flip-flops. You're not going to win, you're just going to hurt yourself. And while comparison burns your money on the outside, the next reason is an inside job. It's a mindset flaw buried so deep, most people don't even realize it's sabotaging them. Reason number 7, ignoring financial literacy. Here's the sad truth. Most people know more about Kim Kardashian's love life than they do about compound interest. And that's not an accident. Schools will teach you how to dissect a frog or solve quadratic equations you'll never use, but not how to file taxes, invest, or budget. So what happens? People step into adulthood with zero money skills, then wonder why their savings account looks like a desert. Financial illiteracy isn't just ignorance, it's expensive ignorance. Because when you don't understand how money works, you end up making everyone else rich but yourself. Banks, credit card companies, landlords, payday lenders, they all profit from what you don't know. Bottom line, you don't need an MBA. You just need to master the basics: how credit works, how compound interest works, how to budget and invest consistently. One book, one YouTube channel, one course. That's all it takes to shift from clueless to confident. Ignoring financial literacy is like refusing to learn how to read, then being shocked when people rip you off with fake contracts. But even if you get smart about money, there's still a sneaky trap that keeps people from saving $100,000. And it's not about spending, it's about safety nets that don't actually keep you safe. Reason number 8, the emergency fund myth. Don't get me wrong, having an emergency fund is essential. But here's the problem. Most people use it as an excuse to stop saving or investing. They think, I've got $5,000 in a savings account. I'm set. No, you're not set. You're one car accident, one hospital bill, or one layoff away from draining that fund dry. And once it's gone, you're right back at square one. Worse, people often treat their emergency fund like it's a slush fund. That emergency somehow includes Black Friday deals, a spontaneous Vegas trip, or a new PlayStation. A cousin of mine once bragged about saving $4,000 as his emergency fund. Then he emergencied it on a down payment for a new motorcycle. Guess what happened next? Actual emergency. His hours got cut at work. Suddenly he had debt, no savings, and an expensive toy he couldn't afford to ride. Put it this way, an emergency fund should be just that, for emergencies. And once it's built, 3 to 6 months of living expenses, your focus should shift to investing. Because a pile of cash in a savings account doesn't grow. It shrinks with inflation. Treating your emergency fund like your only safety net is like showing up to a sword fight with a butter knife. It might help for a second, but you'll get destroyed if that's all you've got. And here's the kicker. Even people who do have savings and investments often sabotage themselves in a way that's almost invisible. It's not about spending or emergencies. It's about this silent killer that creeps in every single month. Reason number 9, inflation blindness. Here's something wild. Your money is losing value while it just sits there. Inflation is like a slow leak in your wallet. Every year, the same $100 buys you a little less gas, fewer groceries, and smaller amounts of happiness at Starbucks. Most people ignore inflation because it's sneaky. It doesn't punch you in the face. It just quietly steals your purchasing power behind the scenes. So what happens? People proudly keep $20,000 in a savings account for years, thinking they're being safe. But in reality, they're bleeding thousands in lost value every single year. That's not safe. That's financial quicksand. Back in the 90s, $20 could buy you a week of groceries. Today, $20 barely gets you 2 bags of chips, a gallon of milk, and maybe half a tank of gas, if you're lucky. Imagine what inflation does to bigger savings over decades. Stop treating money like a museum piece. Money is meant to move, to work, to multiply. Parking it in savings forever guarantees you'll lose. The antidote is simple. Invest in assets that outpace inflation. Stocks, index funds, real estate, even starting a side hustle. Anything that grows faster than the silent thief. Ignoring inflation is like bragging about how much water you've saved in a bucket with a hole in it. But here's the final, crushing reason most people never save $100,000. It's not just about money slipping away. It's about never having a clear target in the first place. Reason number 10, no clear money goals. Let me ask you something. If I told you to drive until you get somewhere good, where would you go? Exactly. Nowhere. That's how most people handle their money. No roadmap, no GPS. Just, I'll save if I can. Without clear goals, money just drifts. You spend a little here, save a little there, and wake up 10 years later wondering why you're still broke. The truth is, if you don't tell your money where to go, it will leave you every time. I met someone who saved $200 a month faithfully for years. Sounds disciplined, right? But when I asked what the savings was for, they shrugged. No plan, no target. And guess what? Every few months, that savings got drained for random expenses. Without a goal, their money was just a revolving door. So here's what I want you to do. Set specific money goals. Instead of save more, it's save $10,000 for an emergency fund in 18 months. Instead of invest someday, it's invest $500 a month into an S&P 500 index fund starting this month. Clarity creates action. Action creates results. Having no money goals is like running on a treadmill with no destination. You're sweating, you're tired, but you're not actually going anywhere. And that's it. The 10 biggest reasons most people never save $100,000. But the real secret isn't just knowing the traps, it's knowing how to flip each one into a stepping stone toward wealth. So the only question left is, are you going to be average, or are you going to be the exception? If you're serious about breaking free, drop the words stealth wealth in the comments. That tells me you're done chasing fake flexes and ready to quietly build real wealth. And listen, if this video woke you up, there are actually 10 weird habits that reveal high IQ individuals, and we break it down step by step in this next video. Just click the video on the screen now, and we'll see you in the next one.